look at all those seed pods. Look at these seed pods. And those. And more over here. And more over here. And over here. And here. And here. And down here. Over there. Over here. Here's some seed pods. Here's some more seed pods. There's one. Hello everybody, good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. This is Butterfly Square Garden. My name is Jason Sebastian. This is a place where you can be free to be yourself, and we just finished watering the garden and trimming up some things. We've got sage, mint, I just trimmed those down. Milkweed, all of these were grown from seed. Those just popped up. The sage I grew from a cutting from the grocery store herb section. I just grabbed some and then I grew roots and planted them. As for the milkweed, this particular batch of milkweed, this little patch, I found this milkweed, common milkweed in the park, and I dug up the root and I planted it here behind the little water fountain. I planted it, but that was 3 years ago, and then it died, and then I didn't see anything until the next year when the roots put up new plants. But get ready to just have roots and no plants. But over here, the milkweed spread underground and started popping up over here and back there. So that's how milkweed travels. It travels underground and through the air with the seed pods. We have my apple tree, which I grew from seed. She's doing real well. Hydrangea that I got from a cutting that I stole from a neighbor. More sage. These were offshoots. I buried a branch and then it took root, and I just cut those off from the mother plants. So these are clones from the mothers. This is just what's it called? Morning Glory. This is recently I learned called Alcea. I don't know where they came from. I thought I was planting honeysuckle. This is honeysuckle. Stole it as a cutting from someone in the neighborhood. It smelled really good, and it rooted, so that's doing really well. We've got jasmine growing up over here, doing well. Some basils that I had in the basement I just put outside. Thyme, lots of thyme. This was the mother plant, and I buried the roots in here, and then they sprung up into new plants. So I just cut that off from the mother plant as well. We've got mints that just grow up as weeds, and I kind of pull them out and repot them. This is more milkweed, but in general, this is my willow tree bonsai that I took as a cutting from the park. We've got dirt, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, over 30 gallons of dirt, which has a butternut squash seedling sprout from the compost. I didn't plant those, that's from the compost. So isn't that funny? I have a couple things on the wall. Those are for the cats to sleep on because we have cats. That is a worm bin. So this is a worm bin, and when the top dries out, I put it over here, which is a layering compartment. So we want the worms to crawl down. And then when this dries out, I move it into here. And then when that dries out, I put it through a sifter. And then that's where we get our worm castings from. This is my other willow tree bonsai. Look how big it is. It's so big. Originally, this was the cutting. It was like this big, and the cutting has grown into this wonderful, beautiful tree. Over here is my lotus, which is doing really well, but I need like some sort of fish to clean up the walls of the tank because I don't want to do that, but it's doing really well. Over here, we've got jasmine climbing up the trellis, more jasmine climbing up the trellis, all of the morning glories, which are just for this wall. We've got, how am I going to show you this? Jasmine, jasmine, morning glory. And then the jasmine branches out, and then I bury the branch, and then it keeps growing. That's where I got this baby from. The branch started to grow roots, so I cut it off, so now it's its own baby plant. This is, I think it's apple mint. It doesn't smell like normal mint. I kept it until it flowers, but it just won't flower, it just keeps growing. But I have lots of these little cups with, look at that, you know, this whole thing grew. The branch is still attached, so I have to cut off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to cut off 5 more babies. We've got a little tomato plant that I don't know, it just must have survived from a couple years back. Over here, that's where my compost is. That's where I got all my dirt from. Every once in a while I dig up all of the dirt. This little crack used to be, I think irises, but they weren't getting enough sun because my dad parked his van here, so that's why I have this little alleyway for milkweed. I don't even cut the milkweed for the monarch caterpillars from this section. I literally just leave it completely alone, and whatever is living out here is living out here. So we've got more, oh man, hold on, I'm taking a break. Okay, so over here we have a pine tree from a Christmas party that got repotted too late and is stunted. I think these are white pine seedlings that started growing in my backyard and I repotted. Apple tree seed that is stunted. And then we've got milkweed cuttings, more milkweed seedlings going all the way down. Seedlings. Milkweed seedlings. This is a big milkweed plant that has a caterpillar living in it. That's why it's all chewed up. I haven't seen the caterpillar in a couple days, but it looks like it's still there. Over here we have some dragon fruit cactus that I got all potted together and I split up. Pardon the plane. Let's see, more honeysuckle cutting, gardenia cutting that looks like still alive but is stunted. These are seedlings that haven't popped up yet or are popping up. That's why they're on the side. And then back there is burdock. I had way more, but I pretty much tore it out because I'm not using it, because we are not doing painted ladies right now. We're doing monarchs, which is why we have so much milkweed. Over there again is the milkweed. Ooh, we've got the cat that lives in my backyard with a little baby that I see pretty much every single day. That cat is here every single day. He pretty much lives here. But I think my neighbor must feed them or something. So over here we've got my strawberry plant, which I purposely got this kind of strawberry plant because I thought it would bloom more often for longer, but the strawberries are so small. I would need like 7 strawberries just to make 1 strawberry from like this same strawberry plant that I would get from Home Depot. So next year I'm gonna get a strawberry plant with big strawberries. There's a seedling that just sprouted and I repotted. This is my sister's aloe plant, which I put out in the sun and it started turning brown, so I put it in the shade and it's doing better. This is the other side of the crack that I leave alone, but it's milkweed. Let's go. I gotta walk around. But now I'm on my neighbor's property, but we're still looking at my house. My neighbor has a really nice garden that he takes care of. So in the front of the house, we've got azaleas to start. Up there is a gardenia. Over here is a fig tree. These are my mint seedlings that were just like sprouting everywhere, so I kind of ripped them out and threw them in a pot and they're doing well. Over here we have a couple milkweed seedlings, and then that was a cutting that was doing well but is turning yellow. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, those I actually dug up the roots and repotted the whole plant, but they're stunted, they're not doing well. And then over there, that was the actual milkweed that I gave to the caterpillar babies and they ate the whole thing, and then the plant died back. So I think it's focusing on roots and I won't see it again until next year. What else? I really don't put stuff in the front because this is like, my mom sits over there and she doesn't want mosquitoes. But I did put some basil in front of the house because it's like, it brings money and good fortune. Over here in the corner, we've got milkweed with more seed pods. This milkweed, one year I took butterfly seed mix and I just sprinkled it all around the edges, and we had a lot of flowers, like zinnias especially were my favorite. Everything died back except for the milkweed that just kept growing year after year. So that's like the 3rd year that the milkweed, so it's doing really well. I used to have stuff in this corner, but it was just getting too dry. So I leave this whole side of the house alone. That's all really good space, but I leave it alone. Eventually milkweed might surround the azaleas. That would be really nice, but we didn't get any I think maybe we got one caterpillar. It might be just too sunny, and they prefer the milkweed that is back there. They probably see this milkweed, and then that milkweed back there is really the one that flowers the most. So that's where I found all of my caterpillars. So isn't this amazing? I love the basil, it's doing so well. So that is the outside garden. I just thought I would let you guys know. And I'm especially excited about the milkweed that I brought to the park by my house because I registered it as a Monarch Waystation. So check this out. Ta-da! Wow, look at all the seedlings. They're doing so well. It looks like a lot, but it's a small spot hidden behind the weeds. And these weeds are growing tall. So this is a really special area. This is the park by my house. This used to be a butterfly garden. I can't rip that out. I'm just gonna step on it. So yeah, this used to all be a butterfly garden all the way down, and the city put in benches. They just redid the whole area. So now I've decided to revitalize it with milkweed, make it a Monarch Waystation. So I'm just, ripping out some weeds over here, making sure that there's a nice space for the milkweeds to grow. I'm gonna put the sign right here that says Monarch Waystation. And hopefully, oh look, there's a little bee. You can't see it. Oh well, there's a bee there. So a lot of this stuff I'm gonna rip out. I don't even know what it is, but it's not good. I mean, other than the burdock, but that's such a big plant. So this is burdock, which is really good for butterflies and bees. So I'm gonna leave that. It's a relative of the thistle family, so painted ladies eat it. But yeah, so that is my Monarch Waystation in the park. So I think it'll be another week or two before the sign arrives, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. And no one's been bothering it, so I haven't even really been watering it. I just leave it alone. Okay, bye. Whoa, oh my goodness. Look at that floor. Wow, look at all those butterflies. Is this a brand new room? Actually, I did a little feng shui. I did a lot of feng shui. This table was in the middle of the room. I moved it, I pulled out of the corner. This got moved all around, turned back and forth, wound up on the wall. So everything is much cleaner and reduced. So we have some monarch caterpillars eating milkweed. This is, oh man, I'll get into that in a second, but this is like third or fourth generation of this season. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 healthy pupas, and I say healthy because we were having a stint where there was a lot of sick pupas, and that probably is because of the butternut squash and because of the heat, but we don't know. Anyways, all I know is I put them back on milkweed and they're doing really well. This is the smaller baby. We've got like actual eggs and babies in here with one leaf on top for them to crawl onto, and then we move them into here. There's maybe 8 or 9, I don't know, it's hard to tell because not all of the babies survive, even with everything perfectly provided for them. But yeah, so that is what's left of the butternut squash tower. It wasn't really working. Down here, can you see them? It's hard to see. Oh yeah, you can totally look at all of those pill bugs, all those roly-polies eating my milkweed, the dry milkweed that gets, thrown out. I just put it in here and they just annihilate it. Like they're like little lawnmowers. They're just chewing through the paper towel tubes. And then I also have, I think it's a cuttle bone that was for birds, but I put it in there for them because it's good for like the exoskeletons. So look at all those little creepy crawlies. And I love how when you're sitting on the floor, you can still see the butterflies. And then when you stand up, you can see the butterflies. But in the middle, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with my orchids? It's like, I can't put them off on the side this way. I can't put them right on the side that way. I can't put them right in front of the window because then they block the butterflies. Also, I like to be able to just walk over and stand in the window and then look outside and see my beautiful garden. And I couldn't do that. So that's why the butterflies are where they are, and then they're still getting sun, and they also have a light. So let's show you some healthy butterflies. Hello. Up top, they just, they fly around. This is where all the healthy young brand new butterflies like to hang out. And then down there is where they feed. So let me zip this closed and then bring the zipper down. Ugh, and come sit on the floor. Okay, so let's investigate this guy. Oh my God. Ugh. This butterfly just landed on me. Go back in, go back in. Oh, come on, he's really going crazy. We've got a wild butterfly. Where'd he go? Oh man, there he is. I'm just gonna grab him. Come on. There we go, flip it out. Fly back in. Okay, we're back inside. Ugh, I hate when that happens. Okay, so this baby just kicked the bucket like 5 minutes ago. And then we've got this one feeding. This one's feeding. This one's feeding. And this one's feeding. We've got butterflies laying eggs. That's literally what it looks like when they're laying eggs. So that's what's going on. They just really like to lay eggs in that corner. And then I move the fresh leaves and the leaves with eggs into this corner. And that's where I get my baby caterpillars from. Ooh, it is hot. She's been laying eggs for a long time. What are you doing, lady? Are you still laying eggs? She could just be hanging out, but that's what it looks like. Okay, so anyways, that's the update on what we've got outside and what we've got going on inside. So I will keep you guys posted. But now, that's the other thing I was going to tell you. So we pulled out 2 butterflies this morning, and including the one I just saw, that's 3 for today, to add to the collection, which is, this is last year and this year, and we have more of last year. In the hydration chamber, which we made together in here, so those are still soaking up water. And look what I did. I went to the store and I got Lal deodorant, but also 2 tracing pads with 2 different kinds of tracing paper, which I already pre-cut up. So we've got 2 different kinds. And now I'm going to mountain pin butterflies so you can see that. Okay, bye. Okay, so we just gave these little fellas some fresh leaves because the other leaves were getting stale and they were kind of hanging out on them. Other than that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up top, making 8 in here. And then I just went through this baby caterpillar enclosure. I put all of the old leaves with no caterpillars, but also did have eggs I left in the corner, but I separated them from the fresh leaves because they seem to be hanging out on stale leaves. I counted maybe 10 in here, but again, it's like wishy-washy when they're babies because they don't always survive. And then this one, I didn't see anything in here. So that really is it. That's the end of the video. Thank you, everybody. If anything else changes, I'll let you know, but that's what we did today. That's what we did today. And come join me with saying, man, they better not, they've been flying out a lot lately. Come join me with saying goodbye to the butterflies. Goodbye, butterflies. We love you. I love watching you drink. They just fly and they land on it and start drinking. It's so cute. This guy is about to die, but every time I touch him, he's like, wait, hey, I'm still alive. So I'm gonna leave him alone. Goodbye, butterflies. Goodbye. Goodbye. And fresh leaves, eggs and fresh leaves. I think it's too much space. It's like hard to collect babies. But that's it. See you next time. Don't forget to plant host plants, especially native milkweed. And like and subscribe. And drop a comment. I really want to meet you guys. I want to know who you are. So, are you raising butterflies? Do you have a garden? What's your deal? Love you. Bye. Oop, they're trying to mate in the corner. Everyone else is just hanging out.